Members, extremely sorry about 15 minutes late because of traffic got delayed. I welcome you all to this study circle meet on brand building using social media for chartered accountants. To deliberate on this subject, we have CA Saurabh Goenka. Can I request Rakesh sir, CA Rakesh sir, to escort CA Saurabh Goenka onto the dais and welcome him with a floral bouquet. Once again, I welcome you all to this study circle meet. From now onwards, I guess you all know that the virtual study circle will be not there, so only physical study circle will be there. I have privilege in introducing today's speaker, Saurabh Goenka. Saurabh is a chartered accountant and esteemed digital transformation professional, and has got more than a decade's experience in the field of AI, RPA, and digital strategy. He is a key influencer in the finance transformation space, recognized by Forbes Business Council and Analytics Insight magazine, and was named Entrepreneur of the Year 2021 by Indian Achievers Forum for his thought leadership in AI and RPA. Notably, Saurabh is also an accomplished angel investor, having actively invested in and mentored over 10 startups specializing in AI and ML. His investments and guidance continue to foster innovation in the digital transformation sector. With this brief introduction, I present before you CA Saurabh Goenka. Over to you, sir.
I think the last conference I did, we had about 700 people somewhere, and it's good to see people coming back in person. I'm sure all of you are also really tired with all the Zoom meetings, right? And the Zoom hangover never ends. So guys, for today's session, since we have a small group here, I want to keep it very interactive so that we can make the most of the limited amount of time we have with each other. And the fact that you are here for the session shows that you might have some interest in brand building or creating your personal brand. So before we start, I just want to do a quick survey and just check with you that why are you here? Like, are you here to learn how to build your personal brand, or is this something intriguing? Anybody can tell me, like, what is it that you're looking for? Anyone, please.
It's one of the reasons why we are here, because creating the brand at the national and international level is something which you have to work on. That's the reason we thought I think it's a good platform where we can understand how to reach to a greater market where we can explore our services.
Anyone else?
We always thought that advertising by a chartered accountant is strict no. When we were studying CA final year, how can we overcome that and following the ethics also?
So guys, another quick question. How many of us here have a LinkedIn profile? Good. Some of us don't have a LinkedIn profile. The very first thing you need to do is, when you go back, is to create a LinkedIn profile. Okay, so on your LinkedIn profile, how many of you have more than 50,000 connects? 10,000 connects? 5,000 connects? 1,000 connect? Okay, 2,500 connects? How old is your LinkedIn profile? 8 years old, right? See, first things first, when you talk about social media, there are many different channels in social media. Typically, there are things like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and various other things. But whatever is most relevant for our community is LinkedIn. Right? Why would you want to use social media in the first place? You would want to use social media to probably have a wider client base, to connect with your professional colleagues, to further your learning and development. And for all of these purposes, there is, first of all, it's very easy for CAs to decide how to build a brand, because you don't need to look beyond LinkedIn. Right? LinkedIn is the only way right now. Apart from, of course, there are other ways where if you want to do bigger things, you create a website, you do search engine optimization, and all of that stuff. But beyond that, the easiest and the simplest way right now is to use LinkedIn, and that's the primary way by which you can, basically create and grow your brand. Now, there is another very interesting question which I have here. Do you think there's a difference between a personal brand and a company brand? So when you create a brand, you can either create a brand for your firm or for your company's name, or you can create a brand for yourself. My question to you is, which one of these do you think is more important and why?
Personal name.
Personal brand, right?
See, companies or any other things comes and goes. Today you might be in one company, tomorrow you're going to be a different company. So personal brand, getting up to the personal brand is more important. So a person is more important than a company, because
Sure.
people are maintaining.
Okay, and how many people here are practicing CS? 90%. That's an absolute right answer. Apart from that, what's also important is, see, there are different types of companies, right? For companies which are driven by individuals, consulting firms, even big consulting firms, advertising firms, things like CA firms, the identity of the firm is not very distinguishable from the identity of the individual. A lot of times people think that, let me create a company profile, I will promote that company profile and create a strong brand there. Better than that is to actually create your own personal profile first. People are going to start following your company after they start following you. And that is a very big trend change. 4 or 5 years back, the entire effort was around creating brands for companies. Now that effort is very different towards creating personal brands. All this influencer world which has started happening, where you have influencers who will charge you a huge amount of money for just one tweet and things like that, they are not going to promote. So imagine the value of that personal brand there, right? So first, it's very important to understand that you need to have a personal brand rather than a corporate brand. And once you have a personal brand, then you basically move on to corporate brand. But depending upon the size of your firm and your intention, if your firm has, say, less than 10 people, just the personal brand of the partners is enough. Now, for example, in my organization, I have about 200 people who work for me. For my employees, I make it a mandate that at least 10% of the employees need to publish a paper online, or they need to, have some event or conference where they go and talk. And there are many companies right now where even large corporates are focusing more on personal brand. They make it a part of the rewards and recognitions and appraisals and promotions, that unless somebody has presented a paper in some international conference, then you can't really become promoted to a general manager. So I want everybody to very clearly understand this, that building a brand has become easier than earlier, because earlier the acceptability was for companies to have their branding. Today you yourself can become a very, very strong brand. Right? That's very, very important. Now, some of the key approaches, and I'm just going to cover some of these theoretical concepts now, but more importantly, I'm going to show you real time how to build your brand with some examples. Right? But the very first thing is to optimize your profile and digital presence. So about 70% people here have a LinkedIn profile, but so nobody had more than 5,000 followers. Some people had between 2,500 to 5,000 followers. Have you ever tried increasing your number of followers, or you've never tried? So question number one to ask yourself is, why haven't you tried? Right? Let me actually give you an example. Let's say that you're like a really skilled taxation professional, and you have a reach of about, you have a few clients here, and then you've got somebody who's like a fresher CA who's just taken up a job somewhere, but that individual has about a couple of lakh followers. Who is in a better position in terms of networking, in terms of getting more clients, in terms of influencing decisions, etc. Right? So it's really important that you are able to expand that presence. And in order to expand that presence, the very first thing you need to do is you need to optimize your profile. Right? So I want to ask any one of you here to tell me your LinkedIn profile. I'll just go look you up. Anyone who needs any suggestions on optimizing their profiles for that matter. I'll just search your name and find it. Yes?
G-U-R-U.
How do you spell it?
G-U-R-U.
Guru.
Okay.
Okay.
R-A-A-J.
R-A-A-J.
Space S-H-E-T-T-Y.
S-H. R-A-A-J space S-H.
T-T-T-Y.
Shetty. Are you here? Guru Raj. R-A-A-J. I couldn't even find you here.
Space is there.
Is there space between
G-U-R-U.
space
R-A-A-J-A.
Raja? There's a space between Guru and Raja, right?
No.
No space.
No space.
This one, right?
This one.
Okay. So first of all, if you see this profile picture, the way profile's picture should usually be created is this part, your face should ideally be either the center of the frame or somewhere at the top. Okay? You can't believe how important it is for you to have an impactful profile picture. It's really important, right? So the rule is your face should be in focus. It should be somewhere in the center of the screen and the background should be as far behind as possible. Let me show you my profile picture. Something like this, right? So the moment you see this, your brain will subconsciously think, this guy seems important. Whatever he's writing, it may seem important. And it's very easy for you. How many of you know about this tool called Canva? Raise your hands. How many of you know about Canva? Okay, 4 people, right? For you to do anything around brand building and social media presence creation, you need to create a lot of graphics, posters, designs, etc. So there is this website called Canva, canva.com. If you go to this website, this is basically where you can create your graphics and a lot of things very easily. So that's your suggestion number 1 group that you should change. Second, I can see a lot of wire here. You should not have these kind of things. Everything else should be blurred out in the background, your face and the rest of it can go away. Now next, your tagline says partner at Guru Raj, Sanjay and Company, right? Typically, your tagline is the way people notice you. You should talk about what problems you solve rather than who you are, right? It all depends on positioning. Secondly, now, are you a taxation professional? Are you helping people in mergers and acquisitions? Are you an expert advisor, let's say on blockchain? Whatever you are or whatever is your purpose, you should put that here. Similarly, if you have achieved any awards, rewards, recognitions, those things come here, right? It's very important. What do you do regarding your connections? You've never tried increasing your connections? Yeah. So one of the very important things is for any professional is publishing things. Right? One of the best ways to grow your following is if you are able to publish papers or talk about maybe some industry problem, or let's say there is a new law which has come out. You're the first person to write about that, and the moment you write about that, you publish about that on your WhatsApp and various other places. So for you to basically optimize your profile, the very first thing is your professional headline. Right? Use a clear and concise headline that highlights your expertise. So I'm a chartered accountant helping you solve problems related to taxation. Or CA with 25 plus years of experience in audit. Or helping you transform your finance. That's it. It's really important because if you search for somebody on LinkedIn, let's say I say Raj Shekhar, you see all these things which come here, the very first thing you get is the tagline. That's the first impression. Your first impression is your photo and your tagline. And there's this thing called neuro-linguistic programming. That's basically how the brain thinks. If you have a photo with a blurred image in the background, your brain is more likely to react to that than anything else. It's just science. Okay, moving on. Your photo should be a professional headshot if possible. Get a professional photographer to do a headshot and put those photos there. There are some people who are like, hey, I'm at the gym and I'm posting a photo. Those kind of photos don't go on LinkedIn. Your LinkedIn is not for your children photos, personal photos, none of that stuff. LinkedIn is serious stuff. Right? There are strategies where you can be really quirky there, but try to avoid it right now at this stage. Third thing is your background photo. Background photo is this. This part, if you see, this part is black. Now I want to move to a different LinkedIn profile. Somebody here who has about 2,000-3,000 followers. Anyone? Yes? Nidhi? Nidhi Thakur, right? Okay, Nidhi. Which one are you? First. Now, first of all, if you look at Nidhi's tagline, this is exactly what I was talking about. She's specifically specified a purpose. The purpose is hiring for her. She's hiring right now. It'll actually help her in hiring. This is an example of a tagline. Now this is the background photo. Now for Nidhi, what do you do? Okay. So for you as a head of HR, this is relevant because you're working with people. You're giving that kind of a vibe. Now I'll show you my profile. I'm a consultant. So here is, I'm sitting and talking. I'm doing a panel conference in Dubai. So your background picture is also important. You can have like a bunch of themes basically there. That's your second thing. So profile, we spoke about profile picture, background picture, and the tagline. The third piece is your summary section. Your summary section should be crisp and should give details around your key accomplishments, details around your value proposition and services that you offer. What's your summary section? Your summary section is this part. This part. So if you heard my introduction, whatever was read out was basically my summary section. So I try to create a singular narrative everywhere. So this summary section can actually be slightly more than 3 lines, right? It can be slightly more. But you should talk about your accomplishments, what are you doing, what's your specialty, so on and so forth. Now your experience section is basically this part where you talk about your professional experience. Now in your professional experience, you should summarize what you have done. Because, see, one of the big trends right now, specifically in the post-COVID world, is that people have started understanding anybody can do anything from anywhere. Right? I know so many people who are working from a small village in Tamil Nadu, and they have clients in Singapore, in Israel, and all of these places where they are doing some bookkeeping, outsourcing and all that. How are these people able to get these clients? Because of their digital presence. Right? Now, if somebody is really interested, let's say that you created a good profile and everything, or somebody is interested, first they want to understand if you have the right experience. Right? Where do you see that experience? This is here. So the first thing they'll do is they'll come and see, okay, where have you worked? What have you done? In these spaces where you work, exactly what have you done? So if you look at my summary section, so I have founded 2 companies, I'm an angel investor, so I talk about specifically what those companies are, what do they do. Prior to that, I was working for Wipro, so I give you a very small summary here. And I'm going to put things here which I want the user to vibe with. Let's say my objective of creating a profile is to get more clients in the space of audit. So I should put areas of some of the difficult audits which I have done. Or what are the specific things which differentiate me from somebody else. That part is very important. Then your education section is fine, and if you have any licenses and certifications, it's all fine. Now, actually the skill section and the recommendation section is not very important for people like us. Right? For people like us, all that is important is all of these things. Your profile picture, your tagline, your summary, your experiences, and your publications. Right? Now, see, that's a very fundamental, basic understanding of one of the most important tools you will ever use to create your personal brand. Right? Personal or branding is essentially 3 things. It is tool, it is content, it is strategy. First, you need to know what to use. Second, you need to have the right content for it. Third, you need to have a strategy for it. Right? And I am a very strong believer in using technology to do as much as we can do, right? So I'm going to give you examples today of how you can use technology to do things like optimize your profile, build your skill sets, and create a good personal brand, right? Now, question: how many of you here have heard about? Okay, not heard about. How many of you have used ChatGPT? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many of you have heard about ChatGPT but not used it yet? A few of us. Can anybody tell me what is ChatGPT?
It's a very advanced tool where you can ask any question, even including framing a legal notice to somebody, or just generally about anything, and give a very proper detailed response. Saving a lot of time for yourself and money as well.
Certainly, you definitely used it. Yeah. All right. So, for those of you who have not used ChatGPT, this is going to be a very interesting next half an hour for you. So, ChatGPT is essentially a product by this company called OpenAI. OpenAI is a $1 billion company who invested in Microsoft. They've created a very powerful AI tool. It is nothing but a large language model. So imagine somebody taking the entire world's data, indexing all of that data, and making somebody understand that data. I'll repeat myself. Let's say that you raise a child, right? So he goes to school, he learns physics, chemistry, mathematics, he has concepts. Imagine somebody who's learned all languages, who's learned all subjects, who has understanding of all different technical areas, and you put that into a AI system who can read things and interact with it. So I'm going to give you an example here. The way this works is you create an account at OpenAI.com, and after that you ask questions and you get answers. Right? I'm going to use this today for the context of brand building. How we can use this to create a brand for yourself. Right? Now I'm going to go back to your example, Guru. Let me see if I can go back to your profile. This is your profile, right? So Guru, we're going to create a new summary section for you. Okay. Now when you type in prompts to ChatGPT, you have to give the right context, be as descriptive as possible. So my name is Guru and I am a chartered accountant based in India. I am trying to build a strong personal brand on LinkedIn, for which I want you to write me a powerful summary paragraph. So Guru, why do you want to build your brand? Tell me, like what's your intention and purpose? My purpose is to reach out to more number of clients for services like auditing,
specifically open audit.
for my auditing services. I have been doing this for how many years?
10 years.
10 years now. And I want you to portray me as an expert in the field. Okay? Chartered accountant with a decade of comprehensive experience in financial auditing, I do take pride in delivering precise, efficient and trustworthy services to my clients. I believe that auditing is not just about finding discrepancies, but is also an opportunity to identify potential areas of growth and suggest strategic financial decisions. This approach has not only led me to successfully manage audits for a diverse range of businesses, but has also fostered long-lasting relationships built on integrity and trust. So all you need to do is just copy it and put it there. Right? Now let me give you another example. I'll go to some new LinkedIn profile. Anybody who wants to volunteer?
Sanjay Jain.
Which one?
I think the second one. No, sorry, not that.
This one?
Yeah. No, not that one. Sorry. Just say Sanjay Jain, Goldman Sachs. Yeah, that one.
This one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let me do something more interesting. I'm just going to copy this whole section just like this. Okay, let me copy it till here. Copy. I go to a new chat. Or let me just go back to that same chat. So when you continue a conversation with ChatGPT, it has a context. So you don't need to specify the context again. So now I'm going to say that thanks, I made the change and now I am a consultant and everyone wants me to write their summaries. I met a new friend who is also a CA like me, and here's a snapshot of his professional summary. Please create a summary paragraph for him. And I just paste the whole thing here, just like that. Right? And I will say that professional summary as copied from okay, so it created this. I don't like it. I think it's too salesy. For his profile, he's very tenured. It cannot be, sounds very immature. This is too salesy. Please tone it down. Abridge it further and make it more crisp and professional. I'll probably give you something which is a little more relevant. Now, trust me, I've been using, my team has been using methodologies combining AI with, LinkedIn, and people in my team have really good LinkedIn profiles. I really urge all of you guys to, do this. You can also just copy your entire LinkedIn profile, paste it here, and ask for suggestions. We'll actually give you suggestions. That's one very, very, very important thing. Now, just to do a quick recap, till now what we've been talking about is to create a personal brand. And we said that it has three parts. There is positioning, which is essentially your profile and the tools you use. There is content and there is strategy. This is the content part. This is how you do most of the content part. Right? You can do many other things here, like as he mentioned, if you're creating legal documents and all. You can just think about, you can put a contract here, you can say please review the risky clauses and give you all those details. You can say that write a letter of initiation, letter of engagement, or I'm presenting my final audit report. I think everything is in order, 5 things are not in order. Can you please help me create a good management letter? You can do all those things for you. So first things first, guys, please extensively start using this, right? However, whatever you submit here, do not submit any confidential information, because this information is used by OpenAI to continuously refine their own models. So what I usually do is I use the APIs, I don't use the front end, but if somebody uses the front end, then you change the names, you change the facts, you change the dates, you change some of those things. So this is how you basically take care of the content. Now the next thing is your strategy. The very important question here is, what are you trying to achieve? Now let's say that you say that I want to buy a car. My question always is, what do you want to do with that car? Do you want to go off-roading? Do you want to drive it on mountains? What's the size of your family? What's your budget? Similarly, if you want to create a brand for yourself, what's your purpose? Why do you want to create that brand? If you're creating that brand for the purpose of, adding more clients, for example, then just creating a brand might not be enough. You created your profile, that's step 1. Step 2 is to actually start posting content. Right? Now I'm going to show you some examples of CAs who created some really good personal brands. Now look at this profile. Now she's a chartered accountant. First of all, look at the display picture. If you remember the guidelines I mentioned, focus on the face, blurred background. Now she has about 150,000 followers. She is a chartered accountant who qualified much later than probably a lot of guys. And these are the kind of posts which she is doing. Now, next we come to content. Or she's become like an education consultant now. She's trying to become that. So she's talking about facts on various job markets. Then you're talking about like a career coach and various things. And if you look at the frequency of content, it's very important to keep posting this content very, very frequently. Right? How many of you have heard about this year called Rachna? She's become like a social media influencer. She started by making some small YouTube videos. So for branding, the golden rule is first of all the frequency with which you are going out there. That frequency has to be maintained. That's how you start getting followers, because people will start looking out for your posts. One very good way to do this is to study the way all of you must have heard about, or at least most of you would have heard about Ankul Warikoo, right? How many of you have not heard about Ankul Warikoo? Okay, only one person. Nobody knew him. So he's a big guy. He was the founder of Groupon and Nearby. But nobody knows him as the founder of Groupon and Nearby. Now everybody knows him because suddenly he's there in everybody's social media feed. You are scrolling and you see his book get epic shit done and all that kind of stuff. To learn how to build a brand, just follow 4 or 5 of these guys and look at the way they are creating content and posting content. He shares email snippets of what his customers send him. He creates videos, and of course, when it comes to content, you can have either typed content which is just text, or you can have graphics, or you can have videos. Which one of these do you think has the most appeal? Videos, right? A video content likely has about 15 to 20 times more appeal. But all of us don't look good on videos. It might be a very bad idea also, right? Because one size doesn't fit all. Somebody might be very photogenic and it might be really good to be on a video, but it's not true for everyone. So in that case, you publish papers or you write articles, but that frequency is important and the theme that you're following is important. Another very interesting thing in the world of brand creation is something which is known as drip campaigns. Has anybody heard of drip campaigns earlier? Okay. What is the meaning of drip campaigns? Let's say that you want to, again, let's stick to the world of auditing. So you want to, acquire more clients in the field of auditing. So you create your profile, you start putting out some expert advice and articles and things like that there. And then you have to create a series of events. So take a complicated case. Let's say you did a very complicated audit where you had some very different experience or different findings. So you first pose that as a question, saying that, would it be interesting for you to know that for such and such company this happened, that happened? And then it builds curiosity. If it doesn't build curiosity, you drop that thing. So you have to do a lot of experimentation when it comes to creating content for this. Right? Now, how many of you reach out to people, unknown people on LinkedIn for the purpose of either acquiring clients or for networking? Anybody who does that? Only one person here does that. Very important, guys, that you expand your network. And the expansion of it, I think most of us still feel that it's not polite, it's rude to just send connects to people. It's not like that. Trust me, it's not like that. But context is important. Let's say that you wanna, meet somebody, acquire a new client, then what you write there is also very, very important. Your messaging has to be crisp. Whoever is reading your messaging, remember they have a very limited attention span. They're going to be doing it only for a limited period of time. And in that period of time, you need to pass on whatever information you have. You can, by the way, again use ChatGPT to draft out those messages for you. Saying that, I will send a message to such and such person with such and such background. Write me a short message in about 3 sentences. And it's going to be able to do that. Right? Now, for people like us, one of the most important pieces is publication in articles. Do any of you have any or one of you written contributed to the CA magazine yet? Why not? See guys, traditionally we are very poor at marketing. Right? If you tell somebody I'm a CA, they'll know you're very good with numbers, you're poor with selling and marketing. Branding is kind of selling. Right? For you to create your brand, you have to reach out. You have to write. It's not just about CA magazine, but just write. Write blogs. It's important that you are out there. Your digital footprint is out there. So if you haven't tried, please try and submit an article. I'm sure even the Bangalore chapter will also have some magazine, right? So just try it, right? I mean, you can just come here, drop in a small message. That's the one, right? So what's the process if somebody wants to write in the newsletter?
We'll be waiting for.
So guys, come on. Let's put this into action, right? And then what happens is once your article is there, you can say I am a expert columnist for an esteemed journal. Trust me, 90% of expert columnists for esteemed journals are just people who've written a small article in a magazine like this. So guys, please, I'm sure we are waiting for articles, you can definitely send it. So that's one very important thing. Now, let's say you are hesitant of reaching out to somebody directly. If you are hesitant, one of the ways you can do that is you can ask for references or recommendations. Right? So, for example, again, if I go on my LinkedIn, I am not connected with Ankur Warikoo, but I know some people who probably know him. So I can tell these guys that, hey, can you give me a reference to connect with him? Or if I want to reach out to him directly, I would say that, hey, you know what, we've got a lot in common. I also know this guy, he was my batchmate, and so on and so on. So, and I want to connect with you for something. You won't believe, see, we are very hesitant in reaching out, but you won't believe there are so many times I have written emails to founders and ministers and I have received a response. Most of the times we believe, what's the point of writing? They don't know me, they are big people, we are nobody and nothing to happen. But it's not like that. Your messaging is important. So you are all aware of the Ashnil Grover controversy which happened, and then he started a new company, right? That company was, I think, ClickPay. He co-founded that company with somebody. That somebody had sent him a cold LinkedIn message saying that I'm a big fan of yours, I'm a technology guy, I think we can do business together. He's a kid. And that's how that partnership started. And it's worth, I don't know billions, but definitely worth millions of dollars today. Just a kid reaching out to Ashnil Grover on LinkedIn. That's the truth. So, see, there is method, there is what you can do. But what I sense right now in all of you is you guys are a little hesitant. First decide, do you want to build a brand or not? Then you have to be out there. You have to start. Right? You have to create your LinkedIn profile. You have to connect to people, send requests, interact with people, send them messages, tell them that hey, I want to be connected, or if you're trying to solve a problem, just feel free to reach out. No problem at all. Now, engaging with the network is also very important. How many of you actually participate in events? How many of you participate in events like conferences, professional events? Raise your hands. So, sir, what kind of events?
Annual conferences, seminars, tech summits across the country.
And what's your experience there?
First of all, you will get to know many people, especially speakers and channel.
So what do you do? So you meet people, then do you stay in touch with them after the event?
Yes, first exchange cards and then get in touch with them.
Let me ask a very basic question. How many of you have business cards? Half of us. Guys, you need to have business cards, right? And you need to have good business cards. Now I was at this conference in Dubai last year in GITEX. Some of you might have heard about GITEX. It's the world's largest technology conference. And there people have stopped business cards. Now they have NFC cards. So you have an NFC card. You just take it, tap on somebody's phone, and the contact gets transferred to that phone. Right? So it's important that if you are deciding to build your brand, there should be a way people can reach out. You must visit at least 5 to 6 events in a year. A bare minimum of 5 to 6 events. At every event, you need to at least remember 10 people and be in touch with at least 5 people. That's the golden rule. And you see your network will start expanding. Yeah. Somebody else who visits events here, raise your hands. So what kind of events do you visit?
Well, there are a lot of startup events, professional networking events, and of course, the CA Institute seminars and all that. So, I'm part of Rotary Club as well.
So guys, whoever is not doing this, and again, if you are serious about creating a personal brand, it's a very fast way. Imagine if you are reaching out to people on LinkedIn, they may or may not know you, they won't remember your face. But if you are meeting somebody, they will remember you. Now, one other supercharged way of building your personal brand is to speak. Like, for example, you want to remember me for something. If I send you a LinkedIn request, you will accept it. Right? So find opportunities where you can see all of us have knowledge to share. Across your professional careers, you've amassed a lot of wealth of knowledge and expertise in some or the other area. Just go and talk about it. You can even do it in your, say, apartment community, where you can say, finance for non-finance or some investment literacy for somebody. You will be surprised with the kind of people who you can meet there for the purpose of networking. And over a period of time, when you are trying to build your personal brand, it's important you realize what's your niche, right? Which means what's your differentiator, what's your subject matter where you're an expert where others might not be. So these days you have CAs who have niche like, I am a cryptocurrency investment tax advisor. I am a startup angel investment advisor. Things like that. And these are growing topics and nobody is talking about it. A simple thing like this, I'm going to give you an example. You saw the whole ChatGPT thing, right? Try this as an experiment, guys. Create a good use case on ChatGPT saying that, hey, I was able to review a legal document or I was able to write a letter of recommendation, or I was able to optimize my profile using ChatGPT, and create a video of that, put it on LinkedIn, send on WhatsApp, just see what happens. There is nobody today who's talking a lot about CAs using technology like this. So if you create videos of yourself using technology to do things, people are like, CA is using technology to do this, they'll be like, oh my god, this is something. That's an example of creating a niche. Nobody else is doing that. So I'm giving you an example, try to find your own. That becomes a part of content. Right? Now, let's move to the third pillar, which is strategy. Now, when it comes to strategy, again, there is a short-term strategy, medium-term strategy, long-term strategy. Your medium-term strategy is going to be to increase the number of people you are in touch with. So, if you have less than 5,000 followers, you want to get to 5,000 followers. If you have less than 10,000 followers, you have to get 10,000 followers over a period of 6 months. And then you have to create a series of strategies so that you reach there. Your short-term strategy is to meet more people and just interact more with people, write articles and all that stuff. As part of your long-term strategies, you need to have some seriously ambitious goals. If you are serious about brand building, your seriously ambitious goals could be I want to be a speaker at some international conference, or I want to write a paper which should be recognized by some reputed journal, or I want to write a blog which should have 50,000 readers. If you have an aspirational goal like that, and if you start working towards it, you will at least achieve something small. Now, the other thing which you should also do in terms of creating a strategy is, again, guys, I keep coming back to technology because it really definitely helps. You can also ask ChatGPT to create that strategy for you. Right? So even if you say that I want to create a short-term, medium-term and long-term social media strategy for increasing the number of followers which I have. I currently have 1,000 followers on LinkedIn and want to go to 5,000 followers within 6 months. I am a CA who practices auditing and taxation. Please create a detailed plan for me with activities for the short, medium and long term for me to achieve my goals. Present your results as a table, right? So you can also tell it how to present the result. I like seeing tables, So let's see what this comes up with. Term, duration, strategy, activities. Short term, 1 to 2 months. Focus, content creation and basic networking. Regularly post short informative articles and updates on auditing and taxation. Aim for at least 3 times per week. There should be value for the target audience. So next time you're not finding speakers, just get ChatGPT up here. Ask somebody the questions and this will do your stuff. Because I think this is exactly what I do. Medium-term startup, weekly or bi-weekly LinkedIn series such as Taxation Tip Tuesday. This is very good, right? Taxation Tip Tuesday. It sounds good. Even if you just create a Taxation Tip Tuesday and you just need to keep posting on every Tuesday. Long-term diversification promotion. Consider paid promotions or ads. Long-term content. In-depth articles like papers, panels or roundtables, video graphics, podcast. Interesting, right? can go deeper. You can say that, all right, I want to start here. I want to post short informative articles and updates on auditing and taxation. Please help me draft one sample So by the way, if you remember that we are still talking about the LinkedIn post, right? This is the marketing part. Now, you can go deeper, right? This post is relevant for a general audience posting, but it might not be relevant if you are posting for professionals, right? So you say this looks good, however, I want to create a similar post which will be read by experts. These experts are all Indian chartered accountants. I want an impressive post which also references clauses and pronouncements in the relevant law for the similar topic, which should be more in-depth in nature. Let's see. This is real deep stuff.
This is giving relevant to India. You haven't mentioned India anywhere. How
I
is it
mentioned Indian chartered accountants.
for Indian channel?
And I also said with respect to pronouncements in law. That's why it's quoting the sections. Guys, trust me, you have no idea how many people are actually using this today, and you think they are like real expert of the experts, and they are really using this today. In fact, I had my team do an analysis of, there is a way by which you can find out if a text is AI generated or not. Okay? So I had my team do the analysis of the top 20 CAs which has the highest followers in a specific subject matter category. More than half of them had AI generated text. Now look at this. This is really deep, right? Do you think this is useful? Actually, forget branding. People are using it to solve cases. People are uploading entire case text saying that give your opinion if you think this expense should be allowed. If not allowed, then why?
So I can share one example. I had a client for whom I did some work like 6 years ago, and I kept sending so many reminders, so many emails, and they never responded. I think just recently, last week, it struck me, why don't I use ChatGPT? And I told the situation, and I told, give me a legally worded this thing. I sent that email, you won't believe, in 10 minutes I got a response back.
So the biggest difference which the world of technology has today is it has truly started filling up the gaps where we had our own challenges and limitations. We might be really good with numbers and everything, but we might not be very good with English, right? This fills that up. We might not be very good with phrasing and articulation. This basically fills that up. So all of your content can basically get generated here. Now this is an example where we created one specific content, right? Now, when you are posting on social media, you are just not going to post text all the time. You will probably want to create some infographics along with it. For that, as I mentioned earlier, Canva is a very good tool. So you go to Canva, you create a new design. You go to Canva, you create a free account, you create a new design. Now I want to create, let's say, an infographic. So I will get many templates of infographics.
Which site is this?
Canva. I don't know why sorry, this won't zoom any further, so I don't know why. It's not. So I'll select any topic here. Let's say this is a template, or let me actually say finance infographic. Okay. So I have this finance infographic. I think this looks good. This has got something to do with finance. And now I want to create an infographic right now in real time with you. So this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 headers, right? Give me a topic, any topic. What do you want this infographic to be about? In less than 10 minutes, we create the whole infographic with all the content. Without me being a designer or anything. Just give me any topic.
Cost reduction through automation of business process.
Cost reduction through automation of business processes. So, I am creating a poster on cost reduction through automation of business processes. This poster has 6 points. Give me a header, list, headline, and all the 6 points along with their headers. I get all my content. Okay? And I'm using ChatGPT 3.5, which is faster, but it's less capable. But I think it will work for us, right? Now my heading is this. Need a shorter heading within 7 words. So I just take this. Put it here. Automate. My first one is increase efficiency. Copy. Paste. Copy. Paste. You get the idea, right? That's your infographic created, right? Now you will tell me that, you know what, I cannot do this all the time. I can't sit every week, create these posts. There are ways in which you can create, just take a Sunday, create 25 such posts and you can schedule them. Okay? So there are different tools. For example, Social Pilot is a tool. social media management and analytics tool, and there are many tools like this. There is Buffer.io and all of that. Now here what you do is, you connect your social media accounts, you upload all your posts and you schedule them on a calendar. And that's it. So, you want to do a good experiment. So today is what? Wednesday, right? I'm saying just do this experiment on the coming Sunday. Sit in the morning, go to ChatGPT, first create a strategy. From the strategy, create what you need to create. Just like I gave a prompt here on creating one article, right? This is one article, so I would say that this looks good, please create 5 more articles. And it will work in the background. I can go, take my dog for a walk and everything. Once I'm back, all the articles are here. Then for those articles, just create infographics like these. Once these graphics are created, you just need to download the file, schedule them for an automated posting on social media. You spend half a day to create your whole strategy, create all the content, and schedule them to be posted for an entire month. And you did all of this free of cost. If you engage an expert, he's going to charge you a lakh for just this. And now if you want, you can be that expert. Right? So, the reason I'm telling you all this is because sometimes you feel that it's too difficult to execute it. How will I sit and do social media and creating brand and all? It's not difficult. It is just a Sunday project. Just take a Sunday, start. Now we've spoken about content. Now I don't want to talk a lot about ads because most of the people who are here right now, you've got less than 10-15,000 followers. You can reach 15-20,000 followers free of cost. You don't need to spend money for that. Only when you want to go from 20,000 to 2 lakh is when you want to spend money. So I'm not going to talk about that piece at all. How many of you have ever tried email marketing? Raise your hands. I think
we're restricted.
Of course, you're restricted. So this is a check that everybody is ethical. Right? But video content creation is something which you must do. So for example, if you look at, I'll show you one of our CAs. Look at CA he's done a really good social media activity where he has about 28,000 followers. Again, look at his picture here. You remember the background picture I told you about? It has to be that you're speaking somewhere at a conference or something like that. Now he has taken up a theme of how he was nobody and then with all of his efforts became somebody. With that theme, he creates a series of motivational posts, videos, articles, so on and so forth. If you just study his post, you will see, he's got various videos here where, let's see this video. He's talking about 2 most important changes with respect to GST. So this is all you need to do. You are talking about expertise in a certain specific area. So I gave you one approach where you can just do that ChatGPT thing. The other approach is just do one video a week for a year, your 5,000 followers will be taken care of automatically. Right? And those videos have to be 2 minutes, 90 seconds, 60 seconds, 2.5 minutes. I gave you an example of Nitin Agori, who's got about 1.5 lakh followers. Now, once your brand has reached a certain space, and guys, it's very important that you don't sell anything as part of your, branding approach or a content approach. The moment, first of all, you can't sell anything. You're not permitted to do that. Second, let's say even if you were permitted, the moment you start being salesy, your brand is completely killed. But you always leave opportunities for people to reach out. Saying that, look, here is the value I have added. Here is the value I add. And hence people can start reaching out to you. Now, I will send a copy of this presentation. It can be distributed to everybody. I've listed down a list of tools. So, of course, there's a limitation of time, I cannot cover everything, but there are many different tools which are very useful when you're starting on this whole journey. So, I give you the example of Social Pilot. Similar to Social Pilot, you have Hootsuite. Hootsuite is specifically for Twitter. But Twitter has actually taken a little bit of a downhill after the whole Elon Musk thing and all those things that happened. It's not really a preferred way also for people like us. It's a slightly more complicated way because for you to present your thoughts in less than 160 characters and be an expert, it's slightly an awkward path. So tools like Buffer, Hootsuite, Social Pilot, they help you in scheduling and automating the delivery of your content and also with analytics and insights. So they will tell you specifically for every post, who's seeing this post, what is the background of that person, this post is appealing to which kind of people, so on and so forth. In terms of content creation, we looked at Canva. There is, if you want to do more serious stuff, there is Adobe Spark, but Canva will pretty much always have everything which you need. It has templates, it has examples. You can also create PPTs there, right? Now, let me show you. So, for example, you can create even pitch decks here. You will have, samples of a lot of different presentation types. So, let's say this is a pitch deck. Customize this template. This has all the sections which a pitch deck should usually have. So I just apply all 10 pages, so I have everything here. First slide is this, you can customize it. Second slide is, we talk about the problem and solution. Third slide is the introduction. Fourth slide is, you talk about the problem. Fifth slide is the solution. Then for your product, what is the current traction? What's your product about? What the agenda? What is the team? So you have more than, I have never felt a need to recreate things once I've started using this. And these are pretty good, like design wise, aesthetics wise, it's pretty good. Right? So please use Canva for creating. So even if you want to create a poster, let's say you're organizing a workshop, right? So workshop poster. So you get lots of workshop posters. You can just select it and then let's say this is a workshop. Every item here is customizable. So it becomes very easy for you to create content like this. Then social media scheduling like Sprout, social data, social media analytics. This is a little down the lane. Now there are these very interesting tools called social listening tools, right? I won't get into a lot of details here, but I'll tell you what they do. Let's say that you've got two different competitors like Nike and Adidas. Or okay, how many of you remember this this thing which had happened on social media where somewhere in Mumbai somebody had taken a picture of a hoarding saying, I think it was for Zepto or something, I don't remember. And then everybody started copying a picture of that hoarding. Do you guys remember what I'm talking about? Yeah, what was that?
Then Zomato, Swiggy, everybody started using that.
Yes.
Like 3 pictures.
Correct.
And
Let me see if we can find it. Social media post that went viral. Zomato, Swiggy. Yeah, this one. Right. So here, somebody had taken a photo and then everybody created their own versions of this hoarding. But the speed with which they reacted was very, very high. How do you think that happens? Similarly, there are examples which you will see that, now this is a real example. Somebody was at an airport check-in counter and they were traveling with one of the airlines, and that he had a fight with the airline because of excess baggage. He immediately tweeted that it's such a frustrating experience to be at this airport. #airline1, whatever the name of the airline, charged me for excess baggage where my baggage got extra. Immediately, a rival airline tweeted there saying that please come over to our counter, we'll give you a free ticket, a red carpet experience, and so much extra baggage. The cost, the reason why it is because the guy who had tweeted, he had some 200,000 followers. So you got so much publicity, but how do they know when to react? There are tools which are called social listening tools. For example, there is this tool called Mention. If you go to Mention, you can give it keywords. It will keep telling you real time if that keyword has appeared anywhere on the internet. So people use, like I'm giving you some real advanced stages of, if you really want to go down the rabbit hole, how deep that basically goes. So there are these social listening tools by which you can do that. I don't think any of us here would need to use a CRM, so I'll skip that. Yeah, I think from a branding perspective, mostly you can use some of these tools. Now again, I want to share some more examples of CAs who have really good social media profiles across categories. So there are these guys who are very good with personalized content recommendation, these guys who are good with thought leadership, so on and so forth. Right. So I want to just keep the remaining 20 odd minutes for more of your questions and interaction. But just to quickly summarize, we first discussed that there's a difference between your personal brand and a company brand. And for us, the personal brand is far more important. The most important channel where you can create your brand is your LinkedIn. Right? The very first thing to do is to optimize your profile. To optimize your profile, your display picture, characteristics, your summary, your tagline, your experiences. After which, to improve your presence and your branding, you have short-term strategies, medium-term strategies, long-term strategies. And who's our friend in creating these strategies and all the content? ChatGPT. So I really urge all of you to take that Sunday project. I promise you, you will have a very interesting Sunday. And you will get excited and you are going to amuse everybody in your family. That look what's happening, look what I did. And everybody is going to catch up to you. And it's very, very important while you do an online profile optimization that you contribute. Your knowledge, your experience, you make sure you write, you share that in forums, make sure you attend some of these exhibitions, conferences, and as part of your longer term strategy, make sure that you speak at some of these, you present at some of these. And then just create a goal for yourself if you are really serious about your brand building, just create a goal and then start on that goal. And there are many examples. You just need to see what people are doing and learn from that. Anybody who has a LinkedIn account will have a social media feed full with influencers and people who are really doing it. Yeah. And then of course we looked at some of the tools which can be used and some ways in which we can do it. So I just wanted to kind of cover some of these fundamental things here. I'll just take a pause here and see if any of you have any questions, or if any of you have any specific problems you want to solve, or you want to learn more about how do you approach a specific problem with respect to branding, right? So rest of the time is just for our interaction. Yes.
Is there any videos that we have to review, any special area of
You have to be little louder.
if you are making any videos in relation to our content, instead of just adding words or data, is there any specific thing you take care of?
Yeah. So first of all, you cannot be salesy, right? You have to stick to the facts. So first, from a broad guidelines perspective, no sales allowed. Stick to the facts. From an aesthetic standpoint, when you are creating a video, make sure the lighting is good. There should not be a lot of light pollution. Light pollution means light coming from everywhere. You should sit in front of a camera, and probably there should be, you have these ring lights which you can get. You can just get that and it focuses on your face. Now, whatever camera you use, it is better to use a DSLR for recording videos. If not, if you have seen even in today's Zoom and Teams and all of these platforms, you have that functionality where the background gets blurred. Try to use some of those cases. Your videos, especially when you are converting a lot of textual insight into videos, make sure they are not very long. Otherwise, nobody is going to watch them. It becomes very boring. What you can do is you can summarize key concepts and you can follow it up with a paper, saying that this is a video for key concepts, and if you are interested more about details, then here are the various things. It's very important for you to track how many people are viewing your videos, and that is going to give you a lot of insights in terms of are you successful with those videos, and if not, your feed is going to tell you what kind of videos to make, right? Also, when you create a video, what time do you post that video is also very important. If you post your video on a Sunday evening, you wasted it. If you post your video on a Monday morning, you wasted it. There's a lot of study behind it. So if you post it on a Thursday afternoon, certain types of content when posted on a Thursday afternoon has a better acceptance than some other days. So you have to broadly take care of all of these factors. Who's next?
What's the reason why Thursday you said that?
I think because Fridays, like, people are in a very casual fun mood and they start getting into that maybe on Thursday. I don't understand the science, but that's the analytics. Right?
In LinkedIn, sometimes you generally get some alert that you have to have the brand membership to get the more visibility, like number of. So is that really working or?
See, they are a for-profit company. They want to make. Obviously, if you buy their subscription, your visibility will improve for sure. But you don't need that. You don't really need that. See, if you buy all of that, but if you haven't taken care of the fundamentals, nothing is going to happen. You first take care of your fundamentals. With that fundamentals, you grow your branding to a certain limit. Then you take the membership. Right?
By doing all this, and you don't get hit by CA like
It really depends on what you are positioning. Right? Your positioning is as somebody who's giving out knowledge. That's it. For a practicing chartered accountant, you have to be very careful. People like me are not practicing, I can money now. But for a practicing chartered accountant, you have to be very careful. No sales. You have to just make sure that you are only putting out content for educational purposes and for sharing your knowledge. That's absolutely fine. And avoid controversial topics. I have seen cases of very influential CAs, some of our very old members. Somebody was very passionately talking about a certain case where one of the big companies were involved, and that went really bad. So be careful, that's all. Then it's fine. As long as you avoid sales, it's fine.
How can you make the content be very unique to what you want? Because as you said, it's very easy to trace back and see if that got generated through ChatGPT. And if everybody starts doing that, you can
Just give it a prompt. Make sure it is not detected as generated by AI.
I'm sorry, what?
When you create the content, add a line of prompt saying, please ensure that you write this content not as an AI, but as a human being, so that when somebody runs a script on it, it doesn't detect that it is generated by an AI.
And that works too?
It works half the times.
Just want to understand the number of followers. If you have more followers, you get more clients. Is it this is how what's happening around the market?
See, why would a client come to you? A client would come to you if you are more client friendly, if you are an expert, if you have good quality services. Right? A client who's finding such a person on social media, what are the various metrics he can check? Now, if you have more followers, it means people trust you. For a CA, trust is the biggest thing, right? People come to you for trust. So, more followers mean definitely more people are working with this guy. There's greater amount of trust and things like that. It helps you in creating the right brand visibility and the brand image. Whether that will convert into a client or not depends on a few more factors. But it definitely helps. Alright guys, thank you so much. Since we spoke so much about LinkedIn, this is my LinkedIn. If you can, yeah, this is my LinkedIn. So if you guys want to be in touch with me, create a profile and if you have a profile, you can just send me a message. So once again, I want to apologize for being late. I am very careful when traveling in Bangalore. I always start in advance. There was some road closed somewhere. I don't like to make people wait. I'm really sorry for that. All of you, very patiently waiting here. And I hope that this session was of value to you. And it's going to just incite some curiosity. And I'm always available on LinkedIn. We are a small community. We help each other grow. So please feel free to reach out. And thank you for the opportunity.
That was an excellent session. As we always thought of advertising by a chartered accountant is a strict no when we studied our CA final year Chartered Accountants Act 1949 and ethics in CA final year. But now brand building by a CA using social media like LinkedIn, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, etc. by using ChatGPT and then related AI things. So website of a CA firm, search engine optimization, get in touch with your fellow professionals, get in touch with your prospective clients, creating followers for you, become an influencer and whatnot. Tool, content and strategies. Many things Saurabh Goenka sir has spoken. A round of applause for him. Thank you so much, sir. In your busy schedule, you have accepted our request and then deliberated on the subject brand building using social media for CAs. As a token of appreciation, I would like to call CA Rakesh sir onto the dais. On behalf of all of you present here, we would like to present a moment to. Thank you, Rakesh sir. Thank you, Saurabh sir. Thank you so much. And then with that, we close for the day.